Hi, I am Prince Adam bin Alwaleed. I am the eldest son of His Royal Highness, Prince Alwaleed bin Talal. I am running for president, okay? I am your representative, okay? I'm going to represent you. What do you want out of this presidency? What are you expecting the government to help you with, okay? Please, I'm going to take your desires, whatever it is, okay? Not individually. I want the collective. What does the collective want? You want health care, right? You want your benefits. You want all of these things, correct? We're going to rebuild and create new programs for that, okay? Obviously, we can't go back to the old because the old ones are gone, okay? They've closed those accounts. They're gone. Therefore, we have to start anew. We have to create new accounts and new funding sources because obviously what was going on was not sustainable, okay? It was not going to last very long, and it was just going to disappear, okay? We knew something was going to happen, and Donald Trump happened, okay? So Donald Trump knows that he was placed in power so he could steal, kill, and destroy this particular system, okay? We're not talking about people. They knew he was going to destroy this system, and we had to destroy one system to make room for another system, okay? Remember, we're going into New World Order, okay? And they're aligning themselves with a power grab, which I'm going to thwart. I do not want a power grab, all right? There is a more efficient system that is being placed into power. However, I don't want a system that controls other people and denies them the food and the right to have anything, you see. I do not want a system that will harm somebody else, and that's the system they want to implement, okay? The new healthcare system, they're going to be able to deny you anything they want in this new system. I'm going to tailor it so they can't. That's my promise. I don't want any harm to befall any of you, okay? You've already endured all the harm you've already endured, okay? Now, old Trumpy boy knows that I'm his successor. That already happened. We already know that I've won. The question is, how did I win? How? How did I end up winning? And how could I have predicted my win? Well, voters understand that I am going to work on climate change. Okay, that is one of my primary things. All these politicians talk about they talk real politically about funding this and funding that when they're actually taking the funding out of the account behind, closed doors. Yeah, pay me some money for climate change, and then they don't do anything. Okay, it's always for them. It's always about the money, getting richer and fattening their pockets. Okay, now. I'm not about that, okay? I have been poor and I have been independent, okay? And that's my nature. I'm an independent. I started my own political party, okay? I am the new founding member or a new member or the owner of the Light Kingdom Party. It was handed over to me by the man who started it, okay, officially. He handed it over to me, okay, and he said that it's registered and all this. I said, okay, I'm going to register myself with this party, all right? And I own the party. The founding man, okay, he used to be Opus One before he retired, all right? Opus One, by the way, is the liaison between the financial liaison, I'm going to tell you, between the Rothschild and the Rockefeller families, okay? It's their stock investor, basically, okay? So that's what they do. It's kind of like changing places or switching places or whatever, whatever that was with Eddie Murphy and switching places or something like that, right? What was that movie? That's what they did. Okay, see, that's what they did, right? The liaisons, okay, of the investors in the stock market and financial investments and such. That's what Opus One does. Okay. Now I know this because I have inside information. I've learned this from the man who retired and then died during the pandemic. And actually, he was killed on purpose. All right? I do believe that. He was killed on purpose because he started an independent platform. And he was beginning to unite the collective. He was professing to do that. And that's my desire as well. If you look at the word community, okay? Community, now at the end, community has the word unity in it. You see? Because a community is the uniting of a neighborhood. People work better when they do things in a united fashion. Okay? Just like protesting is a loud complaint, right? It's just a loud complaint begging somebody to do something about it. Well, they're not going to, so stop protesting, okay? I'm leading you through certain steps here, and I'm trying to show you, all right? It's very important that you listen to these details, and they might be seemingly unrelated, but they are related and very relevant, okay, to my presidency and to you as well, all right? So please pay attention. I have a lot to get through. We together are going to be more successful and more healthy and more vibrant, okay, in this next season with me as president. We are going to be hugging and loving each other, all right? You know why? Because we are going to get rid of the mentally unstable sociopathic narcissists that exist in our society. If you're a narcissist, you are going to go into a facility and you are going to be medicated and not allowed to go back out into society. All right? You're not going back out into society. We've seen what you're capable of. All right? The Reagan administration allowed you to come out because they didn't want to fund it. Well, that's conservative of him. Okay? That's very conservative of him. But we are not going to be that way. Understand? I'm not going to allow you to steal, kill, and destroy anymore. All right? That purpose has been outlived, and you have outlived your purpose. So, rather than destroying you, okay, I would rather store you away in some unknown place where you wouldn't even, if you tried to escape, you'd have nowhere to go. And you'd probably die trying. So that's about where you're going to be stored at, all right? You're never going to be a member of society anymore. and the members of society are going to have mental health treatment. Okay? So, this is what we are up against. We have to clean out society, and we have to clean out the government. And that's my first vision, all right? We have to get rid of all the career politicians that have outlived their usefulness. Shall I name names? I'll start with Nancy Pelosi and her husband. How about that? I'm going to get rid of the ones that should have retired at 65. All right? I'm going to ask them to just leave, and I'll give them a severance package. Okay? If you're too old, get out of my damn government now. You pack your bags right now and get out. And I'm not saying fired. I'm just saying you're retired. I'm officially retiring you. Bye-bye. And that's what I'm going to do. I can't fire anybody. I can retire them. I can force them to be retired. And, you know, you can retire early. So here's the thing, all right? We have a lot of work to do, all right? And I'm going to need 8 years. I'm going to need the 8 years or more to fix this, okay? I'm not trying to be a king. That's not what I'm here for. I'm not trying to be a dictator, or so to speak. My job is to leave this government better than I found it, which I'm going to do anyway. Yet we are going to do so. I'm going to need more time, and I'm going to ask them if I can take a little bit extra time to make a more positive change, if necessary, or I'll turn it over to someone who I know will continue the process, okay? And I know I can't do 3 terms, but I'm saying if I need a little bit more time, I'm going to put somebody else in play, and who will, like maybe Gavin Newsom, he will further the change, okay? After myself, I can put Gavin Newsom in. I'd rather have him promised, okay? In the 2034 to 2038, possibly, whatever those terms are, okay? And he might be too old for that, which I don't know. Right now is his term, right now. But he's not going to win, and I know that. That's why he's going to be in my government, okay? I'd like to offer him the position of vice presidency. We'll see. I mean, if he's faced with not having a position in the federal government and having the vice presidency, I think the leverage and all of that will help make his decision for him. You see? So it's all his choice. So, and his vice president will also be brought in. I want who he chooses to be in my cabinets, okay, as my government. All right? I want to give him a job that he will be able to do using his particular skill set. I'm going to match him according to his skill set. If you're not skilled in doing a particular job, I don't want you, okay? For the representatives, I don't know, I haven't decided. I'm going to change judges, okay? I'm going to insert my new judges, ones that will be fair and just in the Justice Department, all right? I'm also going to get rid of corrupt judges all over the country. If you're a sociopathic narcissist and you inserted yourself into any position of power, you're gone. If you're a narcissist, you're being dispensed with and stored in a place where you're never going to be found again or seen again, all right? And you'll get treatment and for the rest of your life until you die, whenever that is, all right? And we will not practice to harm you in any way, all right? So, I want you guys to understand something. I'm tired of this. I'm really tired of this Donald Trump regime, okay? The effects of this regime has been a major disappointment to all of us. He has stolen, killed, and destroyed, all right? Killed people, killed the system, destroyed the White House. He has bankrupted the entire USA, and we need to build back better, you see? And we need to, I don't want to use the word back, I want to use it loosely. I'm not putting any of the programs that we had back into service. I'm not doing that. We're creating brand new programs. You understand? And as a politician, I'm not going to be corrupt. It's not about the money for me. It's about you. It's about you. Understand? This is about us. U.S. You understand? It's about us. And that is the collective, the 99%. Okay? If you're rich, I'm going to go after your assets, and I'm going to seize them by government. Because why? You haven't paid taxes. You got tax evasion in some of these cases. And I'm going after them for corruption and for basically voting for Donald Trump, which is not really a crime in itself, but come on, people. Who in their right mind, votes for someone like this? Only people who share the same proclivities as their leader, okay? And someone who is not powerful enough to lead their own selves, but feels the need that they have to be a sheep to another person who is more powerful than them. And Trump is not more powerful, and I'm not afraid of him. Actually, it's quite the opposite. Trump just said on Facebook, and I quote, "I hate good-looking people." I have to say this to you, Donald Trump. Thank you for saying that I'm great looking. Ooh. I'm very blessed in the looks department. I'm also blessed in the brains department, you see? And since you say, everything you say is the opposite, you have to remember reverse psychology. Anything a narcissist says, you have to look at the opposite of that, and that's the truth. The opposite of the problem is always the solution, okay? So it's opposite day. So when they say, I hate good-looking men, what they're really saying is, I love good-looking men. I'm jealous of them. You see that? That's what they're really saying. So, actually, a narcissist is incapable of love, so that's actually an oxymoronic statement. However, it does come with a sense of logic and a cycle, okay? It's a spiral. Anything they do is a spiral because it goes in and gets faster in the middle, okay? So this is the truth, all right? Now, I have something else I want to tell you. I'm excited because I'm already winning, and I've already won this presidential race, all right? And you have to think about temporal theory. You ever seen Star Trek, Next Generation, time's arrow, and data says it has occurred and it will occur? That is the cycle of time, because where they began is also where it ends, you see? So it's in the same temporal spot, all right? Pretty much the same can be applied. The same factor can be applied to my presidency, you see? Because it ends where it begins. You see? It ends where it begins. Because all things have a beginning and all things have an end. All right? Now, I'm simplifying everything. The thermodynamics theory and theory of relativity, all right, for all of you. And temporal theory to mix it all up. It's quite the soup, if you wouldn't ask. Scientific and not hypothetic. Okay? So, it is more prophetic, actually. Now, I have to tell you, people, you've already made your votes. You've already voted for me, all right? You've already made your choices. Right now is the time that you should use to understand why you've already made that choice. Why did you make that choice? Why have we chosen me as your leader? Why? Because, people, I have the most to offer. I am going to be the most progressive, the most innovative, and I am going to not practice politics as usual, all right? I am not a career politician. I have no hind position that I started out with, okay, that was in politics. I studied politics and I'm self-taught. Okay, let's use a little excerpt from Terminator, shall we? Okay. Terminator. He went back in time and went to kill a person, but yet got converted over to a protection, right? Somehow he got converted over to protecting the same person he was sent to kill, correct? Beginning and an end at the same point. You see? All right. That's another example. You have to understand the events that happen in that loop. Understand? And this is the time that you have to understand what's going on. Everything that we're doing right now is directly in alignment with my presidency. And I'm not just predicting it. I already know that I'm the president in 2028 and 29. Trump already knows it. The Electoral College knows it. Okay? They already are going to vote for me. I already have their vote. It's locked. Okay? I have a good 50 to 60% of their votes. I'm going to predict that. 50, maybe 60%. Okay? It's a lock. That means that I have the majority. And just because a few others, there's a panel of, 12 or 13 of them? So basically, 4 of them didn't want to vote for me. They vote for either Harris or Newsom. Okay? All of which I'm going to bring into my cabinet anyway. All right? So they're going to be in the government anyway. So just because they're not president doesn't mean they can't be in the government. They're going to have my federal government jobs. And Kamala Harris, I'm not sure where I'm going to put her. I'm going to match her according to her skill set. I'm going to do the same with anybody, Gavin Newsom, anybody that seems to be able to do the job and is not too old and should have been retired. I'm going to clean the whole government out. All right, so I've already stated that. Now, my agenda is to build programs. We're going to build back, and we're going to put back some sort of like healing healthcare system, okay? One they can't destroy, all right? It's going to have a backup system that will automatically go in an emergency funding program, all right? So if they take the funding from this one already comes in, and they're not going to see that one coming. I'm going to plan it like that. Because if they swipe the money out of the account, the Republicans, if there's any left, I may abolish that program. I may take all those people and jail them, and then abolish the Republican Party altogether. Who knows? It's time for a change anyway, right? Can't continue to do the same things over and over again. And so I may abolish that, okay? And we may create a one-party system, okay? That's one world order, But that's unity. That's unity, and I'm creating unity from this community. I am creating unity from this community. Okay? I am not going to not tell you any truth. Okay? I'm always going to tell you the truth. I want to be transparent. And I don't mean a female that's turned into a male and then a parent. No. Transparent? No. I'm not going to be transparent because obviously I'm not trans. However, I'm going to be very clear about all kinds of information. All right? Everything about government, I'm going to be able to show you the work I'm doing. I'm going to show you the paperwork. I'm going to release the Epstein files. I'm going to capture every single person on the list. I'm going to seize all of their assets. I don't care if it's Bill Gates or Bill Clinton. I don't care who it is. Okay? I know the Clintons are on there. I know that the Bushes are on there. I know that there's Lady Gaga, Katy Perry, Miley Cyrus, the Cyruses. All of their assets are going to be seized and they're going to jail. They're going to jail and going through the due process for the crimes they've already committed. And when they do that, it's automatic asset forfeiture. Automatic. I mean, they're going to lose the stuff anyway if it just sits there. They're going to do probably 25 to 50 years each. Okay, that's what we're going for. All right, and there's not going to be any negotiation because it's like murder. No, you did the crime, now you got to do the time. And you're losing everything in the process. You will not have one dime if you come out of there. If you happen to leave the system, you will be tethered to the system for the rest of your life. And you will have to do therapies. You'll have to do all these things. Even in the facility, you'll have to. Okay? It's a mental change. And if you're a sociopath and a narcissist, you will have to face the rest of your life in treatment. It's just the way it is, because we can't let people just be mentally ill. We have to treat them. We can't just live and forget. We can't do that. We've done that. And look where it got us. Donald Trump. No. When left unchecked, things get destroyed because they didn't care. It's conservative. No. We have to care about the people. We have to care about their well-being. We have to care about their needs. Okay? Can't just do politics. Okay? Can't cater to a small group of people. Can't do that. We are the 99%. You can't take from the 99% and give it to the 1%. That's opposite of the whole right thing to do. Robin Hood. It's a reverse Robin Hood. You're stealing from the poor to give to the rich. Okay? And we can't do that. That, my friends, is exactly what's going on. We are reverse Robin Hooding. Okay, stealing from the poor and giving to the rich. Okay, the rich want to be rich. They want to have this power over us. But see, the thing is, the thing about power, we already have power. You have power. You have the choice. You have freedom. Okay, and liberty. Okay, and freedom and liberty come with justice. You have to perform justice. Understand? All right? Justice is truth. Okay? It's about telling the truth, not lying and trying to prevent, mixed lies with truth to make it seem like the truth. We're not talking about that. We're talking about authentic truth. Okay? Lawyers spin lies with truth to try to present that as evidence in a court, which is for kangaroos and chimpanzees and orangutans and so on and so forth. Okay? Now, I'm tired of the system as it has been. The system, the new system, as it will be and is, will cater to us, U.S. It'll cater to us, the 99%. If you want to protest nothing. That's a loud complaint. Don't protest. That's urging people to do something that aren't going to do anything. Okay? Protesting does nothing. Okay? If you want to make change, you have to go out and do it. Let me show you something. Let me show you the example. I just grabbed this. I just grabbed it. And now I'm putting it down. Action speaks louder than words. I grabbed this. Doesn't matter what I'm doing with it. I grabbed it. I took action. Okay? Now its fate is in my hands. Literally. Okay? Now I'm going to put it down. Free will. Alright? Actions speak louder than words. If you do something, it's like, okay, I'm thinking about, and I'm going to show you how protests work. I'm protesting and holding signs up and walking around saying, I'm going to pick up that, I want that black bag with my drive in it. I want that black bag. Give it to me. It's sitting there. It needs to be in my hand. That's pretty much what protesting does. Protesting is just announcing and complaining publicly. It does nothing. If you want something done, all million of you show up at the White House right now. Go show up at the White House. Go take a grinder, a big giant cement grinder, and some cutting torches, okay, and cut your way into the fence. What is a million people filing into or through the fence all at the same time? Overwhelmed security. What are they going to do? They're going to move the president to a safer location, usually Camp David. Usually their first option is Camp David. And how do they move? How do they do that? There is a tunnel underground, okay, that leads to a train, okay? There's a train that they can get to, a presidential train, and it goes underneath all kinds of, if they stay in that area and don't switch the tracks and go above ground, okay, they have a switch track and they can switch the track and stay underground, and they can go underneath any Air Force base, any military base that is available in the United States. They can go underneath it and park that train there and go to that military base. Now, how do I know about this particular thing? Let me see. Another excerpt from another movie. Triple X. You remember that scene where they had the train? That's Hollywood's idea of what it is. It doesn't look exactly like that. It's similar. It's close. It's kind of. It's the idea and the concept behind it. There is an underground entrance to the presidential train, or a presidential train. There is one, okay? And it's a safety measure. We've got to be able to get to that before he does, okay? We have to force him to be able to head towards a certain place, okay? If we block the usual escape routes, okay, then they can't do that, and they have to make alternative routes. We have to know their moves before they make them. So we have to plan this, all right? I'm trying to capture Donald Trump and all of the people that are in, power right now, including Nancy Pelosi. I want them captured, Okay? I want them captured and brought to justice. I want them to face the consequences of their lack of actions and their actions, and for their human rights violations. Every one of those people that's in power right now will face that, and they will go through the due process, and they will lose everything because it cost us everything. Okay? So we have to be able to fund the programs. Okay? So that's how they're going to do it. We're going to take from the rich and give to the poor. We're going to do it the right way this time. Okay? We're going to turn the tables and flip it on them. That's why I was voted for as president, because I'm going to flip the tables on them. All right? Gavin Newsom didn't have that plan until he heard this. And he's going to speak a good talk, but he's not actually going to do it. You know, maybe he'll do a few things, maybe he won't. I don't know. He'll be a good president, I guarantee you that. But he's the cleanup. He's going to continue the cleanup, all right, and the implementation process, all right? He's going to continue on what I started. That's why I'm so pivotal and so important, all right? I'm the janitor who comes in and cleans up the biggest part of the mess, all right, and gets us uplifted and united, okay? That's why I'm chosen. That's why I'm chosen, okay? And by the way, Donald Trump, here's the end of the message is just for you, honey sweet pot. Now listen to me. Yes, I'm good looking. Yes, I am. And now, you know what? I have something to say to you. Fascism, it's in style this season.